All right, everyone, welcome. So today we're going to try something a little different. I want you to just forget about rote memorization for a little while. Instead, we're going to really hack into the logic of Mandarin, and we'll do that by deconstructing the characters themselves. And our way in? It's something we all do, something universal, ordering a drink. So let's dive right in.
Okay, let's put ourselves right there. Picture this. You're on a bustling street in Beijing. It's hot, you're thirsty, and you walk into a little shop to get something to drink. What do you say? How do you ask for what you want? Now, this seems like a really simple question, right? But believe me, it's the key that's going to unlock everything we talk about today. You know, just memorizing a phrase, that's not going to give you real confidence when you're out there. The real key to fluency, and this is our whole method today, is to understand the story and the logic that's actually built into every single character. So for today, think of us as linguistic detectives. We're going to look for clues and piece together the story.
Okay, so our investigation begins. And where do all good investigations start? At the beginning, with the most fundamental element. We're going to start with the character that is literally the basis for almost every single drink we're going to talk about today.
So here it is, our first character. This is shui, and it means water. Now let's all try to pronounce this one together, and I really want you to pay close attention to the tone. It's pronounced shui. Hear that? It goes down and then back up. Shui. It's a third tone. Let's try that one more time together. Shui.
All right, now let's lean in and look a little closer at this. Because this character, well, it's not just some random collection of lines and strokes. It's actually a picture. It's an echo from thousands of years ago. And what's so amazing is that you can still see that ancient drawing hidden right inside the modern character, but you have to know where to look.
And this slide, wow, it just illustrates that history perfectly. Check it out. Way over on the left, you've got the Oracle bone script. We're talking over 3,000 years ago. And you can see it, right? It's clearly a drawing of a flowing river. You can see that main current in the middle and the little eddies or splashes on the side. Then, as we move along to the bronze script, it starts to get a little more stylized, a bit more abstract. And then finally, we get to the modern character we use today. But look, you can still see that central hook. That's the main river current. And those little strokes on the sides, those are the splashes. It's literally a river, frozen in time. Isn't that incredible?
Okay, let's really nail the pronunciation because the tones are just so important in Mandarin. So shui uses the third tone, and I know this one can be tricky for learners. The best way to think about it is that your voice is making a V shape. It dips down and then it has to rise back up. Listen again really closely. Shui. Okay, now it's your turn. Go ahead. Good, nice. Now, a really common mistake is to just say it with a flat tone, kind of like shui. You have to get that dip and rise. That V shape is absolutely crucial. It can change the meaning of the word entirely. So let's try it one last time, all together. Shui.
All right, great job. So now we have our foundation, right? We have shui, water. Now let's start building on top of it. I mean, what happens when we start adding things to our water? This is where it gets really interesting, because we're about to see two totally different ways that the Chinese language creates new words.
First up, we have this character, cha, and this one, well, it's an absolute cornerstone of Chinese culture. We're talking about a history that goes back thousands and thousands of years. The character is pronounced cha. It's a rising second tone, so it goes up. Cha. Can you hear it? Cha.
Okay, let's break this one down, just like we did before. This character is just a beautiful example of what's called a semantic compound. Now, look at the very top. You see that little component? That's a radical, cao. And radicals are like these little building blocks that give you a clue about the character's meaning. This one means grass or plant. Okay, now look at the bottom. We have mu, which is a little picture of a tree. And then right there in the middle, sandwiched between them, is ren, the character for a person. So what's the story here? You have a person among the plants and the trees harvesting leaves. It's like a tiny, beautiful poem for tea, all captured in a single character.
Next up, we have something much, much newer in Chinese culture, coffee. And this word tells a completely different kind of story about how language works. Now, the first thing you probably notice is that it's not one character, but two. We have cafe, and it's pronounced cafe.
So if we try to break this one down from meaning like we did with tea, well, we're going to hit a dead end. And why is that? It's because this is a totally different way of making a word. It's what we call a phonetic loan. That means the characters were picked just for their sound. Ca-fe.
It sounds like coffee, right? They're just mimicking the English word. But there is one little clue here. Look at the left side of both characters. See that little square? That's the radical for mouth, a little hint that this is something you eat or drink. The rest of the character, though, it's pretty much just there for the sound.
And this right here, this is a perfect illustration of two fundamental ways that words are made in Chinese. On the one hand, you have these ancient, story-driven words like cha for tea, where the meaning is built right into the character from the inside out. And on the other hand, you have modern words like cafe, which are phonetic loans that borrow sounds from other languages to name new things. Understanding this difference is it's absolutely crucial as you learn more vocabulary.
Okay, for our last example on the menu today, let's look at a third common way words are formed. And this is when you take two characters that both have meaning and you combine them to create a totally new idea.
Okay, so here's our word, 果汁. It's pronounced 果汁, and this is the word for fruit juice. Now, unlike coffee, where the characters were just there for the sound, here, both of these characters bring their own meaning to the table. They're both contributing directly to what the word means.
So let's do our detective work again. The first character, 果, means fruit, and it's another little picture. See the character for tree, mu, at the bottom? And then you have a representation of fruit growing on top of it? Cool, right? Now, the second character, 汁, means juice or sap. And look closely on the left side. See those three little dots? That's a modified version of our very first character, 水. It's the water radical. It's a clue telling us this is a liquid. So you put them together, 果汁, and what do you get? Literally, fruit liquid. It's so beautifully simple and logical. All right, let's practice saying this one, because this tone combination is really important. We have a third tone, our dip and rise, followed by a first tone, which is high and flat. So the first part goes down and up, and the second stays high. Listen, 果汁. You can almost feel the shape of it. 果汁. Okay, your turn. Yeah, that's it. A really common mistake here is to just rush the two sounds together so they blend. You have to make sure you give each character its full, distinct tone. Let's try it one more time. 果汁.
Excellent work, everyone. So, we've taken all these words apart. We've seen how they're built. Now let's put them back together into a simple conversation that you can literally go out and use right away.
Okay, so let's say you're at that shop and someone asks you this. I'll say it with a natural, friendly tone. They might say, 你想喝什么? And that just means, what would you like to drink?
And your response would be simple. You could say, 我想喝茶. I would like to drink tea. Now you see how easy this is? We can just swap out the drink. If you wanted coffee, you'd say, 我想喝 coffee. For juice, you'd say, 我想喝果汁. And to finally answer that very first question we started with, if you just want water, you say, 我想喝水.
Okay, hold on. Before I show you the answer, think about those sentences you just heard. 我想喝茶. 我想喝咖啡. Do you see the pattern? What's the basic sentence structure that's happening here?
And here it is. It's this simple, but it is so incredibly useful. The pattern is just subject plus 想 plus verb plus object. So 我, which is I, plus 想, would like, plus 喝, to drink, plus 茶, tea. The amazing thing is, once you master this one little structure, you can just start swapping out the verb and the object to say almost anything you want to do. This is a true foundational building block for speaking Mandarin.
So let's bring it all together. What's the one big takeaway here? What's the single most important idea from our whole discussion today? Because this is really the new lens I want you to start using whenever you look at this language.
The big idea is this. Learning Mandarin is not about memorizing thousands of random pictures. It's about learning to see the logic, the history, and even the poetry that's embedded inside every single character. You know, from that ancient drawing of a river in Shui to the beautiful little story of a person picking leaves in Sha. So the final thought I want to leave you with is a question. We now know that every character has a history. So what story are you going to uncover in the next one you learn?